Well, it was a couple weeks ago. The Travis got it done after a few weeks of prodding from myself and from Scott Swift.
Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce just pulled off the ultimate surprise play. First up, Travis's dad Ed revealed that his son actually popped the question 2 weeks ago at home, keeping the moment low-key and personal. And then, Swifties went into full detective mode over Taylor's engagement pics, decoding every nail color, flower, and timestamp for hidden meanings. Next, in a twist no one saw coming, Donald Trump hit pause on his Taylor hate and actually wished the couple luck.
I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
Meanwhile, fans are pointing out how Taylor has been dropping marriage hints in her lyrics for years, from love story to paper rings. And finally, the engagement itself is being seen as a mix of classic romance and modern-day storytelling, perfectly fitting for Tay and Trav. Taylor and Travis are officially engaged, and here's the kicker: the whole magical moment actually went down 2 weeks ago at his place, not just yesterday like the posts made it seem. Yep, they've been sitting on this bombshell like it's a surprise album drop. Insiders say Travis was originally planning some grand gesture, maybe even delaying things for the perfect setup, but his dad basically told him to stop overthinking. In classic dad fashion, Ed Kelce reminded his son that a proposal doesn't need fireworks, just a knee, a ring, and the guts to ask. So Travis ditched the Hollywood script, poured some wine, and popped the question right at home before dinner. Simple, sweet, and apparently totally Taylor approved. The second she said yes, they were blowing up FaceTime, calling family like kids showing off a new puppy. Ed already knew what was coming the second he saw both their faces glowing on his phone screen. Fast forward to this past weekend, and Taylor was whipping up dinner for the Kelce clan on his patio. Casual future daughter-in-law vibes. Imagine that. You just got proposed to, and you're still hosting dinner like Martha Stewart. Of course, they made it Insta-official on August 26th, complete with Taylor flexing that jaw-dropping, vintage-inspired 8-carat diamond that could probably be spotted from Arrowhead Stadium's nosebleeds. She called it the English teacher marrying the gym teacher, which is honestly the most Taylor way to put it, and the internet collectively combusted.
You know, the perfect way to ask her and to make it special. And we kept trying to tell him, when you do it, that's what makes it special. So don't fret on where, or just get it done. It was a couple weeks ago. The Travis got it done after a few weeks of prodding from myself and from Scott Swift.
And the royal wedding vibes don't stop there, because Swift's engagement pics? Oh, they're basically a treasure hunt for the fandom. You'd think it was just a girl showing off her bling, but nope. When Taylor posts, it's like the Da Vinci Code meets Pinterest. Every shade of lipstick, every flower, every timestamp is getting dissected harder than a high school biology frog. And sure enough, the Easter eggs are already hatching. Let's start with the nails. Taylor didn't just slap on any polish. Nope, she went full milky nude minimalist chic. Translation: she knew all eyeballs were going to be on that rock the size of a small planet, so the manicure had to be calm, classy, and basically say, yes, my diamond is the main character. Manicure subtle, diamond blinding, balance achieved. Now, because it's Taylor, the number 13 obviously had to crash the party. She announces the engagement on August 26th, which, if you do the math, is literally 13 plus 13. Oh, and the post goes live at exactly 1 p.m., aka 1300 in military time. Coincidence? With this woman? Absolutely not. She probably planned it down to the second while sipping her oat milk latte. Then there's the Cartier watch situation. In the photos, the time is frozen at 4:54, which is oddly specific. Like, was Travis proposing at golden hour, or did he just panic when his dinner reservation alarm went off? Fans are spinning theories faster than NFL commentators on draft day, because everyone knows in Taylor's world, a random timestamp is basically a prophecy. And don't even get me started on the school motif. She captions the announcement with, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married," which is peak Tumblr humor, but also a sly nod to her track So High School. It's corny, it's adorable, and honestly, if this doesn't end up inspiring a full-blown Glee-style musical number at their wedding, what's even the point? Of course, the flowers tried to throw everyone off. Rosies, peonies, daisies. It looks like a botanical garden exploded. But the real kicker? Travis got tagged on the one massive tree in the shot. Translation? He's her strong trunk. Subtle? Not really. Cute? Absolutely. And finally, that Ralph Lauren sundress. Simple stripes, breezy vibe, and yes, it's still in stock, which is Taylor's cheeky way of saying, run, don't walk. Because let's be real, she doesn't accidentally match her nails to the garden unless she already knows the camera's about to immortalize the moment. And speaking of subtle symbolism, nothing screams plot twist quite like Donald Trump suddenly turning into a Swiftie light for 5 whole minutes. Yep, the same guy who once declared he hated Taylor Swift and joked she wasn't hot anymore is now over here gushing about how terrific she is and wishing her and Travis a lot of luck. Honestly, it's like watching your grumpy neighbor suddenly bring cookies to the block party. You're suspicious, but also kind of entertained. Apparently, right after the engagement news broke, Trump was asked about it in a cabinet meeting, because obviously world leaders must weigh in on celebrity weddings like it's foreign policy, and he decided to ditch the usual Swift bashing for compliments. He even tossed in props for Kelce, calling him a great guy and a great player.
To ask you a serious question, but I have to tell you the biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged.
No, I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
That's right, folks. For one shining moment, the former Taylor trash talker was handing out Hallmark card vibes. Of course, the peace treaty didn't just fall out of nowhere. Let's not forget Trump has been throwing shade at Taylor ever since she backed Kamala Harris in 2024. He'd been warning that her sales would tank, cheering when she got booed at the Super Bowl, and generally acting like Taylor's mere existence was his side quest.
Well, Marsha Blackburn is doing a very good job in Tennessee. She's leading now substantially, which she should. She's a tremendous woman. I'm sure Taylor Swift has nothing or doesn't know anything about her. And let's say that I like Taylor's music about 25% less now, okay?
He once even went on TV and said he preferred Brittany Mahomes over Taylor because apparently we're ranking Kansas City Wags like it's fantasy football. According to him, Brittany was the real MVP since she's a Trump supporter, while Taylor was just too liberal. Wild energy, but okay. Taylor, meanwhile, was unfazed back then. She clapped back when Trump's camp tried to use a fake photo of her to imply she was endorsing him, then went all in on Harris with a passionate post about calm over chaos. Classic Taylor, standing firm in sparkly boots while the drama swirls. And spoiler alert, her sales didn't dip, they soared. Because if there's one thing we've learned, trying to cancel Taylor Swift is like trying to cancel pizza. It's just not happening. Now, with this engagement hype machine rolling, Trump's sudden pivot to "she's terrific" feels less like a change of heart and more like he doesn't want to get steamrolled by the cultural juggernaut that is Swift and Kelce. After all, this is the couple who can crash NFL ratings, break Spotify, and now, apparently, soften even Trump's words, at least for one news cycle. And since we're talking about unlikely plot twists, let's not forget Taylor's been basically workshopping this whole marriage arc in her music catalog for almost 2 decades. The woman has been dropping not-so-subtle hints about aisle walks and wedding bells since before most of us even had Wi-Fi good enough to stream them. Now that she's flashing that rock from Travis, the Easter eggs suddenly look less like fan overthinking and more like she's been writing her own future diary in 4/4 time. Back in her baby era, she was already scripting a Hallmark movie in Mary's Song, dreaming of porch swings, babies, and the kind of till we're 87 commitment most people can't even promise to a Netflix password. 2 years later, she gave us Love Story, aka the one that turned every middle school dance into a Shakespeare cosplay and basically invented the proposal scene of the century before she was even old enough to rent a car. By Speak Now, Taylor was crashing other people's weddings and serving chaos energy, like she was auditioning for a rom-com where the ex actually does grab the mic. Fast forward to Lover, and suddenly she's writing vows with metaphors so swoony you can practically hear Pinterest boards being born. Honestly, those lyrics now read less like a song and more like a Kelce wedding toast draft. But then in peak Taylor fashion, she flipped the script. Paper Rings told us she'd happily swap diamonds for a stationary aisle special, while Champagne Problems dragged us all through the trauma of her proposal gone sideways. 1 second she's all in with imaginary rings on playground swings, and next she's like, actually, no, I'm busy chasing fame. Relatable whiplash, honestly. And of course, the Tortured Poets Department era sealed the deal with love songs that might as well have come with a Kelce jersey stitched in. From So High School to But Daddy I Love Him, it was clear she wasn't just humming about hypotheticals anymore, she was test driving lyrics for her real-life fiancé. And speaking of future diary vibes, let's not pretend we didn't all see this engagement coming the second Taylor strolled onto his podcast set. In 2025, guesting on New Heights is basically the NFL version of slipping on a diamond. By the time they sat side by side on that video call, giggling like high school sweethearts and finishing each other's sentences like a pair of retirees in a yogurt commercial, the writing was already on the wall, or at least in the Spotify comments. That interview with Jason might have been billed as Taylor hyping her new album, but let's be real, it was a 2-hour soft launch for Brand Tavis. They were roasting each other, swapping lovey-dovey looks, and honestly channeling such When Harry Met Sally energy that fans half expected them to start debating whether men and women can just be friends. Cut to 2 weeks later, Instagram engagement post. But here's where Taylor goes full chess master. She's not just writing songs, she's writing the narrative of her life, and Kelce is her latest plot twist. Miss Americana meets her heartbreak prince, except this time the guy isn't brooding in a rainy alley, he's a 6'5" golden retriever in human form, wagging his tail on a football field. And Travis, he's eating it up. He's like a Labrador who just discovered he's famous, posing in waders with a python one day, misnaming Alice in Wonderland the next, and somehow still managing to be America's boyfriend. Sources say fans adore that he's not even a little salty about Taylor's megastardom. He's comparing her Eras Tour grind to NFL Sundays, basically crowning her the MVP. That's the magic. He's the jock, she's the icon, and together they're giving sitcom-level archetypes with a 2025 upgrade. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.